the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show with the magician Tommy Wirtz, me, Mitch Thunder Ellis, and the effervescent Mason Crosby.
Effervescent. Well, for lack of a better word, Tommy just hit a game winner.
Yes, he did.
Right in the clutch there.
Buzzer beater.
That was right under the wire. Yeah, not like our Milwaukee Bucks, but yeah. That was not good last night, was it?
Well, Bucks lay an egg. As we are standing up for the national anthem, Freddy Peralta gets traded.
Is that when the news came?
That's literally when it came, because like the section I was in, everybody was on their phones. Like literally everybody's like, oh my God.
That's pretty disrespectful, Thunder.
And
that's
then
pretty disrespectful during the national anthem.
It is. And then at the first commercial break of the game, they go to Pat Murphy on the big screen.
Oh, of course.
And like Murph was not having it. He was just sitting there, and it's like there was like a muted, like nobody booed because Murphy didn't trade Freddie, but like there was definitely a muted response to Murph being on the big screen, which should have been like a big applause. But like everybody in the arena was just talking.
Well, isn't that funny? You got to think he didn't know. Did he not know? He couldn't have known it was happening. Like,
no,
why would you go to the game?
Because he's not involved. That's the GM. That's the coach isn't involved in that at all.
I know. I just feel like those are always those moments where you just kind of hide out for like a day, like just as like a big organization shift goes. But Murph's the man, so he's probably just like, whatever. I'll still go win 95 games with whoever else y'all throw at me.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I mean, and this was like. It was not really breaking news at the time because all day we were seeing there is a deal in place. It needs to get finalized. But these are the two guys going over from the New York Mets.
Yep.
Freddie Peralta will be heading to New York. It was just a decision on what other Major League Baseball pitcher was going to go with Freddie Peralta, and they settled on Tobias Myers yesterday.
Yeah. What do y'all feel? What are y'all feeling? I need to hear your reactions. I gotta hear the baseball guys.
Mr. Hot Stove Weekly, why don't you kick us off? Remember every Wednesday from 5 to 6:30?
7.
Oh, was it
5 to 7? So it literally happened minutes after they went off the air. Because the Bucks game didn't start till 8:40. So like at 7 o'clock, like it became
they knew
it
they
didn't go official till what, like 8:30.
Yeah. The entire first hour, we talked about it. We even did talk about Brandon Sprout and Jet Williams going over in the deal. It seemed like everything was in place, so it didn't catch us off guard by any means. But at face value, I understand both sides of this, right? Because I understand that there was not going to be a move for Freddie Peralta that would, on paper, make the Brewers better for 2026 specifically. There just wasn't a move for it. That's not how Major League Baseball trades really work. Now, however, they got 2 top 5 prospects in their organization, including Jet Williams, their number 3 prospect, I believe he was, and Sprout was their number 5. And I'm telling you right now, we're all going to look back at this with the Brandon Sprout deal and be like, they traded for Quinn Priester 2 years in a row. Like, this is
really, you feel really good about it.
I agree. I'm just like Tommy. I'm more excited about Sprout, the pitcher, than I am about, like, Jet Williams might be good, but I think Sprout has.
That's what I was going to ask more about was like, the pitching trade-off. Like, what are you gaining?
He's going to be a back end of the rotation guy, like Priester was supposed to be.
He's young
guy. Yeah. Both of them young guys. They have control of these guys till like 2031 or something like that.
That's a good deal.
They are going to be.
That's the next time the Bucks will have a first-round pick.
Yes,
by the way.
Yes, yeah. And then what was the one? I think what Drew had said to me: the next president's next reelection would be the other time. So that's how
one
long,
way to put it.
That's how long it looks. But Jet Williams is coming in. He's listed as a second base prospect, but he's very utility. They could use him in the outfield if they want to. I like the move personally, and I am actually very shocked at how many people were surprised, like sad to see Tobias Myers go. That's the part of it.
You've said that this morning a bunch here.
That's the one that just gets me. Now, don't get me wrong. He was great out of the bullpen at the back end of last year, 20 innings and a sub-2 ERA. Okay. But I do think that Tobias Myers, Jerry Blevins, I believe, had something to say on SNY in New York saying how much they loved him. Like, that guy was in the doghouse every week with Pat Murphy last year.
Murph did not love him.
He
because he nibbled. He nibbled too much.
Right.
He didn't throw strikes. And Murph was like,
nibblers. No one likes a nibbler.
No. And Murph would say literally after his starts, to start in the major leagues, you got to throw strikes.
Yeah.
And Myers, like, it's not like he's Greg Maddux. Like, he's not getting the calls 2 inches off the black.
I wouldn't call it A+ by any means, but I'm giving it a solid B.
But it's a good long-term trade, right?
Yes.
They're like, all right, Freddie, a little bit older, like he's obviously still excellent. But what are we going to do long-term? And then I see this comment on Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. If you want to join in this conversation, 414-677-1250, jump in. Tell us your thoughts about the Freddy Peralta trade. The 920 texts in, Jet Williams will be the Bryce Terang replacement when Terang is looking for a big contract or being traded. How do you feel about that, Tommy? I know Terang's our guy.
Well, hold on. At 920, I know said that. With all due respect to Bryce Terang, who we love and we want to stay, and we think they should wrap up to a long-term deal right now.
Yeah,
the Brewers have like 3 or 4 guys who are all in that mix because the Brewers are loaded with infielders right now.
I think that's like their whole team is like Bryce Terang's. Like, it's just they're all like.
And if they've got 3 or 4 guys who are AA, AAA ready, who've got the skills that translate to major league, like at that point, like Doug Melvin used to say, you can throw crap up at the wall, but at the end of the day, it's still just crap. The Brewers don't have crap. The Brewers have like star potential. And I think Bryce Terang actually is going to be the guy to lead that group as the veteran a couple years from now when they have studs all over the infield.
You put it in a great, like, he's in the mix, right? And Terang is obviously the front runner right now because he's had the major league success for being in the mix. But I will also say that I do understand why people see the move as okay with complacency, right? And we've said this with the Packers, talking about this in the last week or 2 weeks, whatever it was, since they've been out. It's, are they just okay being the 7 seed and getting into the playoffs? Where that's different with the Packers because everyone has the same money. The Brewers do it from an operating point.
I don't think the Brewers are complacent at all. I mean, they're making moves trying to think, like, have this be good for the next 10 years. And I mean, they won 97 games last year.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like, they were the best team in baseball. And then they lost to the Dodgers. I mean, it's like, okay, that stinks, but it's like that is kind of like the hope, right? Is like, all right, can you catch fire and beat the Dodgers and get to where you want to go? But it's just like, if not, if you win 95 games a year and it's a fun, everything's great, like, you give yourself hope in the playoffs. Like, I think with the Brewers, with like their financial situation compared to these other teams, that is awesome.
Right.
Like, we got to just look at that as like, this is a fun team to be a part of and to root for.
But Crosby, like, imagine it as Indiana football now. Well, Indiana football finally just started spending more money than everyone else, and they have no cap on how much money they can spend either, and they just won a national championship because of it. So now the Brewers have no cap. They have an owner who is notorious for not spending as much money as many other owners in Major League Baseball.
So you're saying they just choose not to.
They financially choose not to. Yes.
But my argument specifically with this is I don't think Freddy Peralta specifically is worth $30 million a year for the next 4 years after this year. I know the deal this year at $8 million a year. He is a bargain this year. And they could have wrote it out and seen what happened, seen how the season went. But there's no way they're signing him to a 4-year, $120 million deal that he will get next year. Like Dylan Cease, who I know Rami on 9 to Noon kept making the parallel that, like, they're the only 2 guys over the last 3 years to have 30-plus starts and 200-plus strikeouts, and that's good. But, like, that's consistency. That's not necessarily dominance. The Brewers aren't winning a World Series with Freddie and gang. Like, and now they don't have Freddie. They still need better pitching to win a World Series.
Sure.
Yeah. But Freddy Peralta is not worth $30 million a year to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Here's a number, Crosby.
That's true.
That I also think tells a really big story about Freddy Peralta. All right. So Logan Webb, starting pitcher out in San Francisco, he finished 4th in NL Cy Young voting, while Freddie finished 5th in NL Cy Young voting this past year. Logan Webb made 34 starts. That was the most in Major League Baseball. Freddie made 33 starts. That's one thing that Freddie is very good at. He takes the ball every 5th day, right? Yeah, and that's something always there. That's something that we love, availability on this show, right?
Yeah, love it.
34 versus 31. Remember, just one more start. Logan Webb pitched 207 innings. Freddie Peralta pitched 176.
Yeah, he didn't go long.
He is the Brewers ace. He's not really Major League Baseball ace. And that's not a shot at Freddy Peralta. The game has changed.
The numbers are there. Yeah.
The game has moved on. That's not how starting pitching really works. But I think that the move on from Freddy Peralta to get the return that they did give back, I'm okay with it. And I'm really excited about the Brewers pitching rotation still. You're talking about Brandon Woodruff's now going to be the lead ace, which we saw what he can do when he's healthy last year.
When he's healthy.
He's amazing. And he's going to be back.
On Formica right now.
He's going to be back ready to go at the start of the season. You have Mizorowski in year 2. You have Priester in year 2. You have Chad Patrick. You have Angel Serpa going to get a chance now, maybe at the back end of this rotation. Maybe it's Sprout at the back end. DL Hall, Robert Gasser. Like, that's 8 guys I just said that are going to be in potential for this starting rotation. It might still be the deepest rotation in Major League Baseball.
Gosh, you got a Jet and a Gasser on the team. I mean, I feel like I feel really good.
Yep.
You put those two together, and some awesome things are coming. But no, I do find it. I find it fascinating. We had this conversation at one point, because if you have Shohei Ohtani and you decide, like, oh man, we're able to pay him the most, bring him to Milwaukee, like, and Tommy, I know your feelings, and like, but we haven't had this conversation in a while. Like, does he bring this market up?
Right.
Like, is it just like wherever he is, does it matter?
Yes.
Like, you can throw him $700 million and it doesn't matter what market he's in. You feel like that's the case with a guy like Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't think LA drives that at all?
No, no, because I think here's a very fair question. So Patrick Mahomes' contract was what, $500 million when he got it, right? 10 years, $500 million.
Yeah.
The brand of Patrick Mahomes is worth $500 million, right? I mean, easily.
I think so.
Yeah.
But to the Chiefs, you're saying?
No, I mean, the brand of Patrick Mahomes, State Farm commercials, Patrick Mahomes, endorsements here. Like, after that 10 years, he's going to make $500 million, probably not from just the NFL even.
But they almost reimburse themselves in LA by signing Shohei Ohtani,
right?
Like, on sales and ticket, jersey, all this stuff.
So if you
incorporate, do you think that happens in Milwaukee even?
Yeah, if Shohei Ohtani goes,
matter.
He's big enough. If Aaron Judge came to Milwaukee, it'd be the same thing.
Okay.
Like, there are guys bigger than the sport, right?
So
and Shohei Ohtani,
if they just invested in certain, but
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure based on pure numbers. Like a 10 million person metro area is just bigger than a 1.5 million person.
For sure.
area.
It definitely helps.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure you're quite getting back.
I think
the dollars,
the potential.
Milwaukee.
I think there is a floor on the brand number of Shohei Ohtani, right?
Yes.
No matter where he goes, this will be generated income.
Yeah, sure.
I think that number is really close to $1 billion over 10 years already. I don't, whether it's ticket sales, jersey sales, endorsement deals, and anything else that comes with it, anyone could have done that Shohei Ohtani deal.
But if Shohei comes to Milwaukee, the Brewers aren't getting the TV deal the Dodgers got, even if Shohei's in Milwaukee.
But they're
getting more than they're getting now. But they're still $100 million short.
Look at Giannis, what he's been able to become, the global superstar that Giannis Antetokounmpo has become in Milwaukee, and not even in Wisconsin. We had that conversation yesterday, Mitch. It is Milwaukee that is all focused in on the Bucks.
And it's not Wisconsin.
He still gets the national media attention. He still gets the national media love. Everyone's still obsessed with every story that happens with this guy.
True.
It would have been the same thing if it was Shohei Ohtani. Now, the problem is the Dodgers went out and did a move for Kyle Tucker, who is not the same case scenario.
Right.
And he got way overpaid.
Yes.
And he is a very good baseball player. Maybe he's worth $40-45 million a year. He's not even close to being $60 million a year average annual value. They went out, they spent more because they can spend more and afford to spend more. So even if they're losing money on that value with Kyle Tucker, Shohei's already got him all the way up here on top of it, and they can meet in the middle at some point.
Did you see they're paying more in luxury tax on their roster than they than like 6 MLB teams are paying on their whole roster.
That's how it works.
Makes complete sense.
Luxury tax.
I think that, and Freddy Peralta, he's going to be a benefit of the market, right? Because he's going to be one of the top starting pitchers next time around. He's going to get a big deal. He deserves a big deal. The Brewers can't afford to do it. His brand is not worth the money that he would do in Milwaukee. It's not.
Yeah. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talking text line. 414-677-1250. The 920 writes in, I definitely understand how fans in Milwaukee get attached to players. It almost seems like that's a Midwest trait. That said, trading Peralta and Myers for two guys that have excellent upside and could contribute on an everyday basis in 26 is a no-brainer. The Brewers couldn't afford to retain Peralta, so they had to get something. Yeah. And that basically sums it up. 414-677-1250. Mike's in Greenfield. You're first up on the Mason Crosby Show. What's up, Mike?
Oh, guys, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. What's going on, buddy?
Okay, what I'd like to – you guys got me off the ledge. I guess I was dreaming to think that we could keep Peralta. You explained that trade, and I'm seeing it. It sounds good. Help me figure out the Collins trade.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call.
So he's talking about the Royals trade that they had with Isaac Collins, Nick Mears.
Angel
Serpa. So if you say Angel Zerpa, you might as well be saying Andrew Jones. All right. Like, let's get it together, people. Now, on top of that trade is a Jose Quintana replacement. They're just trying to find, they have no lefties in this starting rotation. And quite frankly, Isaac Collins fell off a cliff last year and is a severe candidate for regression in 2026. I actually was more upset about losing Nick Mears because that guy, he just showed up whenever he was asked to. Like all he did was pitch in like 70 games for this team last year. Whenever they were in trouble or needed some leverage in the middle of the year, they always called Nick Mears first. Now, again, at the end of the year, in the playoffs, the moment was too big for him.
Yes,
it was absolutely too big for him. So they went out, they got a guy with a lot of good analytics and stuff that they think they can work on. I mean, who does not have faith in Chris Hook to figure out pitchers with potential at this point?
Well, you tell us. You're the one who talked to him last night.
We did talk to Chris Hook yesterday. We did talk to Chris Hook yesterday. Go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/@WI Sports Radio if you want to watch that full interview. Eric Tyson, Brewers hitting coach, was also on.
What did Chris Hook say about like how he's been able to have this success with so many different pitchers?
He credits his team. He credits who he's got in the building with him. It's not some sort of pixie dust, he says, but on top, he just thinks that the Brewers look at it in a way that other teams don't. And they have a lot of good collaborative minds in there. Jim Henderson, remember being in there as well in the building. I think that.
So they listen to each other, take advice. They trust one another. Oh man.
Wow.
Right.
Hi, Green Bay Packers. Maybe you want to listen to what the Brewers do.
So it's just,
that was a segue for the next.
I figured that out, Mace. Nicely done.
Look, I'm happy about the move. I think that it's sad to see Freddy Peralta go, especially because when it looks at the counting stats, he's a Brewer legend.
He loved it here.
He did.
He loved it here. We loved him. That's all great. But he's not the right fit for this team with the way the economics of baseball work.
I trust Matt Arnold.
He's not a $30 million a year guy.
You got to trust this team.
Brewers.
I mean, they won 97 games last year.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was even in the realm of expectation for most people. Right?
Last year, no.
What was it? 84 and a half games was their over under?
Mitch Schnellis.
I'll be honest. I had $50 on it. And the fact that I didn't add a 0 to the end of that, I'm still mad at myself because we all knew. We all knew they were going to. And I actually had it at 83 and a half.
Oh, my God.
$50? Great. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about it. But like,
Right.
man, we should have added zeros to the end of that.
We'll take out a loan from Crosby on this year's
Do you think
all-rounder.
they nibble at any actual like signings? Do you think there's going to be any like in like a true starter or like
Mace?
What part of the roster though like needs
it's starting pitching. It's starting pitching at the front end.
Yeah.
I have a friend, a Detroit Tigers fan, who literally emailed me today and said the Brewers have enough to make a Sabathia type trade for Skubal this year.
Whoa,
like trading like 2 or 3 top prospects.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it.
If the Brewers are leading or fighting with the Cubs in June or July and the Tigers are out of it, he's like, watch the Brewers make a Sabathia trade for Skubal this year. I told him he's crazy. I told him there's no way.
My heart couldn't handle watching him leave. If I saw him in the blue and gold or the blue and pinstripes, like if he was on the team and then wasn't on the team, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
That's how it works. 414-677-1250. We've got lots more Brewers and Freddy Peralta reaction to get to from the text line from YouTube. But somebody was in Green Bay yesterday, Mason. It wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
No, we're waiting. We're waiting for that one. Once we hear that Rich is gone.
Yeah, well, they got to shore up. They got to shore up the defensive coach, and then they'll move to special teams. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with defensive coordinator, what we're hearing. And Mason, we're really relying on you for like inside information here. So if you could just start texting Al like every 10 minutes and just ask him how it went and like how he even felt like working for the Bears, like gross.
Yeah,
I guess you take the job. He did a good job, so you can't debate.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did beat the Packers in the playoffs, so you got to bring in. He's like a frenemy, right?
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
I like that.
Yeah, keep him close.
Exactly. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Snells, aka Thunder. You're listening to the Mason Crosby Show, presented by
Verizon.
Yeah, I got it right. I got it. I figured I should start drinking water. I've made. It's not a New Year's resolution.
50 years.
Took 50 years.
I hate you both.
Man, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Mace. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I hate you, Tommy. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here. Mason Crosby getting ready for 47 inches of snow. I was looking at it today, and like Saturday could be a fun one for you, Mace.
They've already started canceling everything. We're like right on this line.
Right.
Of it's either we could get like 8 to 12 inches or very little and like ice, which ice would be way worse if it's like,
So I know, our big boss, Jason B, does he have a nickname on this show?
Smoking Jay.
Is he the volunteer?
The volunteer?
Because he's from Knoxville. Yeah, get it though.
Is that what you want to go with?
What's the Whitefish Bay area code? 414.
All right, relax.
Just JB instead of JB in the 920.
Yeah, JB in the all right. So he's in Dallas right now, and he was at his sig other was at a conference that was supposed to end on Friday, and they are having kind of like Super Bowl type weather, like you experienced. Got
to run out of there,
and so they moved everything up a day, and they moved every flight to Thursday. So they're all getting out tonight because tomorrow is supposed to be an ice storm in Dallas.
Yeah, they moved basketball games to tonight. Unfortunately, my 8-year-old girls game got canceled already. Yeah, they're just canceling everything. They had like the whole big winter formal at the high school that got moved to February. Okay. Yeah, I mean, changing everything. I was at Costco yesterday, which every Costco setup exactly the same, so you'll understand this line. Like where all the like meat and produce is. The line was like wrapped around that for checkout. I've never seen anything like it before. Oh my god, insane! I literally self-checked out like a huge basket full of things. Everyone was so mad at me. I'm just like,
you got to do it.
I'm just like, hey, can you come help me scan this? Like it was crazy.
No, I love that. I think I know that in our area, most of the high school basketball games scheduled for Friday night are rescheduled for tonight.
Okay.
So Whitefish Bay at Homestead. Whitefish Bay at Homestead girls we got tonight.
Okay.
Got moved to tonight.
Good luck.
We're in the middle of finals though, and so tomorrow's supposed to be the last final for everybody. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like they haven't sent out like what.
Just take the day off.
Why even send them to school? Who really cares? Like this, just so.
Just give them A's and send them home.
That was rage bait. That was so rage bait out of Mitch. That was so rage bait.
I'm Tommy.
What are these kids gonna do?
Had this too. Like you, like some of us had it rough. You did not. You were part of this generation that had every day off of school as well.
I don't think so.
Did you go to school whenever you were like, I'm going. I don't care. I'm going to go to school. Even if they're.
Anyway. I would have walked on Friday to school.
You would.
Yeah, out of spite.
Mason Crosby.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this or not, but number 31 in our program, but number 1 in our hearts was in, I assume he was in Green Bay yesterday. I know he interviewed, so I assume he was there.
Exciting times.
He's on the list. I just tagged you on a post on Twitter that Andy Herman put out. Man, I miss Andy already.
I know. I love when he splashes back at people too. Whenever they give it, and he just goes right back. And I'm like, man, Andy.
He gives no bleeps.
Yeah, and it's always just, I mean, it's just so pointed and accurate. It's like that's what I appreciate about it. There's no fluff to it. It's just like you're wrong. He's not on the list. He hasn't been accepted. Read the tweet that I put out, right?
All right. So, Mason, you manifested this. You wanted Al Harris to get an interview, and he's gotten an interview.
Yes.
We don't know. They're still going to interview Jim Leonard. It sounds like maybe Raheem Morris because of his connection with Matt. But Al Harris.
Why is Jim Leonard? Is Jim Leonard not scheduled? Is it because he's in Denver? They're just kind of waiting.
They're still playing. Yeah. Hopefully the Patriots will take care of him on Sunday, and then he can interview on Monday.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, because you want to at least have him in the building if he's willing to, have if he wants to make that move. Like you want to do that. Yeah. Don't make a decision if you don't have to, unless you just love what Al Harris brings to the table or one of these guys. And it's just like, all right, this is our guy. We're going to go this direction. But I feel like you got to kick the tires on all the top candidates whenever you're trying to fill such an important role here on this team. So
the confirmed interviews right now, according to Andy Herman, are former Packer and Bears defensive backs coach Al Harris, Christian Parker, Jonathan Gannon.
Who's Christian Parker?
He is the.
Should I know that?
It's Charger. Let me double check here.
No, Chargers was Mentor, wasn't
he? He was on the Dallas Cowboys staff.
Hard pass.
So
hard pass.
Yeah.
Although Al Harris was on the Cowboys staff a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but they were really good. Like, wasn't that's when Trayvon Diggs and everybody was Like think what he's done with the DBs, like in the two spots he's been.
Absolutely.
Takeaway machines, like almost overachieving in a sense, right? Because this Bears defense, this secondary, like they were not great, and they just found a way to get their hands on the football as much as possible.
The other two confirmed: Durante Jones, who was on Brian Flores' staff in Minnesota,
right,
and then former head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, as well, has been a confirmed interview.
I always want to call him Rich Gannon. It's that one's going to be a tough one for me. I'd always call him Rich Gannon.
And confirmed Brian Flores will not be making the move. The Vikings have re-signed him as defensive coordinator unless he gets a head coaching job, which he's allowed to still interview for, I believe. But I do believe the Vikings did. They have a deal in place that he will remain the defensive coordinator there if he does not get a head coaching job.
Has he been interviewing? Where has he interviewed?
He's
for
definitely
head
interviewed with Pittsburgh. I don't know where else he's interviewed with. But we're talking about Flores.
So he
interviewed with Pittsburgh for sure.
He did reach the agreement with the extension in Minnesota, but that is pending. He does not get a head coaching job.
Do you know if he's interviewed anywhere else besides
it
Pittsburgh?
Was Pittsburgh, and I believe he's been other places. He was not on the Ravens. Which was kind of a weird one.
That is interesting.
That you wouldn't want to bring him in.
You think they're going offense? Like they think they're going to go like somebody for Lamar Jackson, like just a full offensive mind?
I don't know why. Like it doesn't feel like their brand, but why would you not? They have to kind of be all in on Lamar Jackson, and maybe he wants to be a part of that coach. I don't know if he's going to be, but
you got to think there in Pittsburgh, they're going to have an offensive coach because they're going to be getting a new quarterback, right? Like more than likely.
Unless they are just so tied into this defensive mentality. But but I agree with you, Mason. That makes a lot of sense. 414-677-1250. What's going on with the defensive coordinator with our Green Bay Packers? Derek is in Pulaski. Derek, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Question about Al Harris.
Yeah.
Does it affect Green Bay that I'm aware of, he has never actually called a defense?
I don't know. Mace. Yeah, that's a good question, but he's heavily involved. He's been the pass game coordinator and assistant head coach there at Dallas for a short time. I do think those things are definitely issues that they're going to ask him about, and like they probably ran him through all the potential pitfalls of what that looks like. But yeah, I don't think it's always I don't think that's always a non-starter. So everybody kind of has to have that chance at some point, right? And like take that next step. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide there.
Yep.
I think you keep them in Chicago anyway.
I don't know. They got a lot of turnovers. I know their secondary wasn't great this year in terms of personnel, but they got a lot of turnovers, and they had a couple injuries there too. Thanks for the call, Derek. I like him. Jim Leonard hasn't called plays either.
Exactly. I don't think it's a non-starter to have somebody that hasn't called the plays or done all those things. Again, it's who do you build your staff around? Mm-hmm. I honestly think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have somebody kind of like fresh in that space, because then
like that.
It gets LaFleur kind of out of his comfort. Like he's going to have to engage in a different way on the defensive side of the ball as well.
I messed this up because I Googled it.
I saw the
Christian Parker move here.
He was the Cowboy. He's now the Cowboys.
30 minutes ago, Cowboys defensive coordinator.
Right,
he is off the table. He was with Philadelphia. Yes. Oh. Okay. So
hey, thanks for everyone listening, correcting Tommy. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, I messed it up. When I had the Google up, I was like, okay, Cowboys, but no, I knew that didn't sound right. It was 30 minutes ago. Tom Pelissero reporting that now he's off the table. So now but that's another one. So him.
He was the Eagles pass game coordinator. This is a trend that is happening now, right? Like pass game coordinator. You might not have called all the plays, but you were intimately involved in what was being called and how you were running a defense, right? Because you were coordinating that part of that defense. So I feel like the Eagles pass game coordinator going to Dallas, like this could be something that is starting to happen, because it's like, all right, what a D coordinator is from another team. What a head coach, it's like they bring with them all of the tendencies and the things that they've already done. It might be nice to have somebody that you just don't even know what they're going to bring to the table, and other teams, people won't know what kind of defense they are going to run, and you can kind of sneak up on people a little bit.
I like everything you just said, Mason. I just am worried that that's not Matt LaFleur's frame of mind. I feel like Matt LaFleur likes controlling, and he likes knowing, and he wants to control this narrative in a way that
but he's got to change something.
But do you think he will?
Well,
do you
Mitch,
think he's strong? Do you think he has the strong enough intestinal fortitude to admit that he needs to
maybe
change
this
something?
isn't putting Al in the best scenario, but Mitch, who better than to be a little more controlling over than to a guy who's never called the defense before too? Would that not be appealing to Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, but I don't know if it'd be appealing to somebody who's been who's been a Packer. To me, it's almost like it's a new person, but no connection to the organization. So then I can really control him.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to have to make that decision because Al Harris is going to come in there. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame. He's, he's a legend of the organization. He is going to draw attention just because of some of those things. But again, if I'm LaFleur, I'm getting this extension coming off of how the season ended. That's the type of distraction I would want, right? It's get a guy in there that y'all can kind of grow this thing together. He can get his first opportunity as DC, and he kind of just knows the lay of the land as well. Pettin and LaFleur didn't get along. Everyone can have their opinion about what kind of coach Pettin was, but he was a strong-willed, knew what he wanted to do, and that didn't work out so well, right? I think Joe Barry kind of has some of that as well. That didn't always go so well. So Halfley plays the game a little bit better, so I think that might have gone a little bit different. So I think somebody in that realm that is kind of getting their now. LaFleur is 7 years as a head coach. To go and work under him and get your opportunity, this is that time to kind of take that chance a little bit.
Here's the last thing I have for this, but what is the biggest Packers need in personnel wise in everyone's mind? Cornerback, right?
Yeah.
The 4 years in Dallas, Al Harris, most interceptions in the NFL over those 4 years. His first year in Chicago, most interceptions in the NFL.
Yeah, that is not, those aren't those are facts.
Just wait. Trayvon Diggs led the NFL in picks, was an all-pro under Al Harris. Deron Bland led the NFL in picks, was an all-pro under Al Harris. Kevin Byard led the NFL in picks, was an all-pro under Al Harris. If personnel is going to be a problem with the constrictions of the salary cap for Green Bay at the corner position, sure seems like this guy can turn one person around every year.
Yep. He's exactly the type of guy, just knowing Al, knowing where he played in Green Bay, the type of, coaches and the mentality at the time he was there in Green Bay. I mean, it's all the things I talk about, right? It's just no excuses, do your job at a high level, know where to be. You might make some mistakes, but you're going to do it at a fast pace, and you're going to get your hands on the ball more often than not, because we're going to put you in a good position to do so if you lean in and you learn what you need to do. Trayvon Diggs, after Al left, was a shell of himself.
Yes.
Right? So it's
a mess.
That stuff those are real facts that that have to be looked at.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Real quick, I learned something today. I did not know 353 was an area code to help out 608, serving Madison, La Crosse, Janesville, and Beloit. But 353 writes in that Halfley hadn't called plays in the NFL. So that might be where Matt LaFleur wants to go.
Seemed to,
we got to get to some Bucs talk and to Giannis because I can't believe the roster is still intact the way it is today. After last night's game, I would have thought that either Giannis will be traded or everybody else will be traded. We'll make those arguments both ways when we come back. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Everybody's going to want to tune in this afternoon to Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, hosted by Tommy Wirtz. Because Eli Berkovitz is going to be on at 2:20, talking more about the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator situation.
Sparky taking a snow day also? Or
It's cold out. Yeah.
Cold day, yeah.
He told me yesterday he's got kiddo sick or something. So
and I saw you just threw Q's comment up on the YouTube.
Shout
found
out
out
Q.
I'm getting a big promotion at work in a couple weeks last night. Don't worry, I'll still have time to check in with you guys regularly. Congrats, Q.
Yeah, congrats.
You know what? Everybody share your good news. Like, this is the good news show.
Yeah.
The Mason Crosby show is the good news show. So
availability, accountability,
and Tommy
energy, effort,
Tommy
attitude.
ability.
Tom ability.
Yeah.
I like
it is
that
basically Tommy availability, right?
You know what? It's not.
Okay.
It's not Giannis ability right now.
Ooh.
It's not Buck's ability right now. I know Giannis had some pointed words after the game last night. The Bucks losing by 20, trailed by 20 after the first quarter. So the final three quarters,
that's insane.
They really held their own. They were even with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, I mean they were coasting the entire time.
It was 38-18.
That's wild.
There was a point there where it was 7-0, where I was like, the Bucks might not score tonight. Like the Bucks, the Doc called timeout at 5-0 because of how uninspired and bad his team looked. Now I will say, KPJ is injured and out indefinitely. Miles Turner did not play last night. Gary Harris got the start, which I don't know that he should be starting for any NBA team right now.
No, that's bad timing.
Yeah. So I get it, but like, man, this team is a mess. Giannis calling out his teammates. We think specifically Ryan Rollins and Kyle Kuzma for selfish play, for taking bad shot selection. Giannis was only 8 for 11 from the field. Lou Dort plays probably the best defense on him as anybody in the NBA. So, and the Thunder are easily the best defensive team in the NBA. So Giannis is going to struggle a little bit there, but he's still 8 for 11 from the field. Like, and Doc Rivers is still the coach of this team, and everybody on the roster is still on this team. Q wants to know if Doc is cooked. I mean, if he's not cooked now, like, why would you cook him? Like,
why would you? If he's not, why would you?
Spoiled,
right?
It's already spoiled. Yeah, you can't cook this anymore, right?
I mean, this team is an absolute mess. They are a disaster. The Boo Birds were not out last night. I was surprised about that.
So they've just given up.
Right.
They're just this is what it is.
I think the fans have given up.
I think that's worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worse whenever everyone's just kind of accepted that this is just going to be a bad product.
And Tommy, you said it yesterday. The Thunder were favored by 9.5, and I said I kind of like the Bucks to fight. Now that was before I knew that Porter and Turner were both out for sure.
Yeah.
But Tommy, you said it yesterday. You're like, they're going to lose by 20.
Yeah, they lost by 20.
I mean,
what? I don't expect this to change. And some of the comments from Giannis after the game, like we talked about it, he is either working himself out of Milwaukee or working other people's out of Milwaukee right now. He is like, this team is not it.
This isn't it.
Like, if you want me, fine, then these guys got to go because it's not working now.
This team stinks.
Can you trade everyone? Is that an option?
So they can trade. I mean, they can trade Kuzma and Portis. They can. And the question is, like, if I'm another team, if I'm Atlanta, San Antonio, I don't think the Thunder have interest in Giannis, but San Antonio, Atlanta, maybe a couple other teams. If you have any shot to get Giannis this season, you have to be burning up those phone lines today. After the game last night, after what Giannis said, knowing that KPJ is out indefinitely, knowing that Miles Turner didn't play last night, knowing that this team's a mess. And if I'm the Bucks, I'm calling every team I've talked to about Bobby Portis over the last 4 years. Every team I've talked to about Kuzma over the past year, I'm talking to, because there's no reason either of those players need to be on this team. I would, and I was talking to one of the front office person last night, and they said, what would you do? And I said, I would burn it down this year. I would keep Giannis. Everybody else I would get rid of. And I would just tell Giannis, this year's going to suck. We're going to try to lose every single game the rest of the year. we're going to be horrible, but we can turn it around next year with the right draft picks and the right trades.
How many years does Doc Rivers have on his contract? Are they going to pay another coach?
I think they have to.
They're going to have
to. I think they have to. They have
this is the last year of Adrian Griffin. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter after that. I mean, the Bucks love to pay multiple coaches at a time anyway, so who cares? But yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers, no one was happy about this when it happened in the moment.
Just not getting the most out of this group.
It's a guy who's just does not get the most out of the group. He does not coach around Giannis well enough, and it's showing with Giannis's emotions after a game too.
Yeah. You got to look at the top on like whenever you got your top guy calling guys out, doing like what all the stuff that's going on. Then you look at the coach, and it's like, okay, there's a disconnect there at some point.
The 8:30 tip last night because it was on ESPN that was obnoxious. That it tipped at 8:42. That was stupid. Rough. Friday's game just got moved to 8:30 against the Denver Nuggets. It's on Prime Video. Ain't nobody watching that garbage.
I hope Al Michaels is calling the game.
IMQ said the ticket sales have plunged too. Yeah. Or the prices are like really low. Yeah. So go ahead. You can go see a game though.
You can. Nice. You can if you've never seen. Jokic isn't playing, so it's a mess. It's a mess. What do we got? Bill Huber. Billy Huber's coming up next. All right. Bill Huber, Packers on SI. He's coming up next. We'll talk some more Packers with him. And if you've got more Freddy Peralta thoughts, obviously we'll take those throughout the show. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
What up, everybody? Hour number 2. Hi, Mason.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm better now. Molly brought me some food up. So
what'd you get?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
She made me. She had a Caesar salad. Little turkey, some carrots, and some grapes. I feel like a school kid. Felt like a packed lunch.
It's funny because I have a packed lunch today for Mrs.
Nice.
Thunder.
Yeah.
She was in New York last week, so I have the last bagel. You know, she always brings back bagels from New York.
Nice.
And then I've got some cut up cucumber and some mandarin oranges.
Look at us trying to just, we're just changing our lives. Tommy's just motivated us to, get back in shape. Yeah.
He really has. Yeah.
Pack my own lunch.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good job, Tommy.
One day you'll go to McGuanago and somebody will make lunch for you.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yes,
we'll see if that works.
Is that how that works? I don't know. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. You can follow him Packers on SI and at Bill Huber NFL. Bill Huber on the line. Bill, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're better now that we had lunch. Have you had lunch today, Bill?
I did. Yeah, my son's home sick. So I made grilled ham and cheese sandwich.
Oh,
that sounds good.
That's a money move right there. I assume school's canceled tomorrow already.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minus 20 in Pulaski.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
a
crazy.
little chilly.
We got like -5 down here in the southeastern Wisconsin area, but the whole state's shutting down tomorrow, so it should just be like, light the fire and read a book by the on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay away from those exploding trees.
Yeah,
I saw that. That's crazy.
That's not real.
That's
crazy.
AI.
Right,
That's
Bill.
fake.
That's not real, right?
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm staying in the house. That's all I'm telling you.
If you're a lumberjack, stay safe out there this
That's
weekend.
right.
Yeah.
Do you think when Matt LaFleur is interviewing potential defensive coordinator candidates, he has to warn them about the exploding trees because it's so cold right now?
Yeah, it's probably something you shouldn't mention in an interview, I wouldn't think.
Fair.
Exactly. So let's dive in. I want to go that route first, Bill, before we go to potential defensive coordinators. The Matt LaFleur extension, it getting done, kind of weird, how the first reports we got were right at the end in overtime of like one of the, best division games of the weekend with the Bills in Denver. And I know, and if I'm not mistaken, you wrote an article, leading up to it about, why it might be time to move on. Like, talk to us a little bit about like your thoughts on the extension for Matt LaFleur and the pros and cons of bringing him back.
Yeah, I guess I'd start off with I'm not surprised. I mean, you know how the organization is, Mace.
Yes,
they're very patient, and for better or worse. So I'm not surprised that that's the direction they want. I did right after I thought about it long and hard on the drive back to Green Bay just to make sure I wasn't writing anything, stupid that I'd regret. Then I think it was, if I was time to move on, 5-game losing streak to end the season. Obviously, one of those games was irrelevant, but whatever. I mean, you blow sizable leads in a few of them. It just seems like maybe if it's this title town and the goal is to win a Super Bowl, maybe it's best to give a shot to somebody else. Obviously, Ed Policy disagreed with me. And more importantly, my thinking was what the players said in the locker room on Monday, with a lot of guys having LaFleur's back on Monday. And it wasn't just like I better say something nice about the guy because he might be my boss. It was like, it seemed really genuine. Like Micah Parsons just flat out blaming the players for losing leads and not straining hard enough. So I do think the players genuinely wanted LaFleur back, and they got the wish.
Yeah, Bill, do you think, I was in that locker room for a long time, and, we've had Coach McCarthy on the show, and in my relationship with him and just kind of the type of coach he was. Do you think LaFleur is capable of allowing the locker room to lead the way? Because I think that is a big thing. I like what Micah said. I like what a lot of guys said, but there also has to be this the coach position has to allow that locker room to lead. Do you think that's a shift that could get them to that next level? And is Coach LaFleur willing to take that take that shift here?
LaFleur has said, several times that the best locker rooms are player-led locker rooms. That might be the verbatim way he puts it too. I do think he's more than willing to let the players lead. And you would know, Mace. What do you want? Whose words carry more weight, the coaches or the players? I'm curious. I'm interested in what you think. Who is it? If you're Joe player in the locker room, does what Micah Parsons had to say mean more to you than the head coach and the defensive coordinator?
No, I definitely think, especially a player like Micah Parsons, appreciate that he's coming out and just calling himself, I guess not calling himself out. He's calling other guys. I will beat, I dare you to beat me to the ball. I dare you to compete with me because I'm going to go out there and play my hardest every single snap. And that's the kind of passion and drive that needs to, kind of infect that locker room, right? Because that was probably the glaring issue that we saw at times, especially down the stretch, where it was just where is this? Where is the guys hunting, going and making plays? It just felt like they were just allowing things to happen to them.
No, I think it's exactly right, Mason. I think that's well said. To that quote that you mentioned here, I'm looking at it now. This is from Parsons, and I'll clean it up on the fly. I challenge the guys today: do more than what your job's required. If you're in shape, run more, do more. If we got to go play 80 snaps, we play 80 bleeping snaps. We shouldn't be tired doing that. We got to strain. And he goes on to there. It was almost like he was pointing at number 52 when he said that. And I don't know for sure if that's true.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
It was about as strong as comments as I've ever heard a player say to us. I'm sure what goes on in the locker room is different, but to come out publicly and say that, telling the players, it's up to you guys. And it's true, Mace, in all those leads that they blew, nobody stepped to the forefront. And even when Parsons was there in their winning games, it was Parsons or bust. That's why he was the closer, because if he didn't get the fourth down sack, who was going to do it? Who's going to make that play at the end of the game to win the game? It's when he was there, everybody's waiting for Micah to make the play, and without Micah, nobody made it.
Exactly. We got Bill Huber joining the Mason Crosby show, talking all things Packers. I am curious, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Something that was glaring to me in this extension of LaFleur, and I haven't seen, has it been official with Goody and Russ Ball? Have they actually announced any of that yet? And
no, nothing's been announced yet. We're all waiting.
That Ed policy, through this, we all kind of actually thought maybe he was going to shift the structure, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So that was glaring to me, where it's he kept himself kind of in that power position over all of the football operations. Did you find that to be kind of a tell of what this contract extension might say if it doesn't improve and we don't see a return on investment and success here in the next year or two?
Yeah, I found that interesting too from this perspective. If you're going to keep LaFleur, which they obviously did, can you change the structure? Or do you have to wait until you make a coaching change to do it? Because, as it is now, Goody and Matt are on the same line on the flow chart, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
You can't really put Goody ahead of LaFleur, right? But bring back LaFleur, that would seem to be a little awkward. So maybe that's something they'll just have to wait for when they feel like a coaching change needs to be made. Maybe that structure changes at that point. But I think if you're going to keep LaFleur, you probably need to keep everything else as it is. For sure. So now let's shift focus. The good on Jeff Hafley. Maximizing his 2 years there in Green Bay, getting a head coaching job down there in Miami. Who are your front runners for defensive coordinator candidates? Who would you like to see take over that job? Yeah, there's no exploding trees in Miami, so Jeff's got that going.
There you go. He's safe.
We did this, Bill. It actually might be worse to be for the cold to be the coach for the Miami Dolphins than it is the Packers with all the domes right now in the division. You got to go to Buffalo twice, you got to go to New England twice, and you got to go to New York twice.
Yeah, good point. Jim Leonard intrigues me to the coordinator question here, though.
Yeah.
It was close back in 21, and that's when Jimmy was at Wisconsin, and his defenses were as good as any in college football. I mean, they were top 5 in points and third downs and sacks and takeaways, like all the important things. They were top 5 in the nation. It didn't happen. So then Leonard gets, obviously loses the Wisconsin job. I'm not sure they didn't hire him. That was stupid, but that's neither here nor there. So now he has 2 years in Denver. Now he's not the coordinator, but he's got 2 years of big time NFL experience. So if Matt LaFleur was that interested in hiring a college guy in 21, why would he not be even more interested in hiring him now that he's got 2 years in the NFL under his belt? Or, he's been a Rex Ryan guy, from his days at the Ravens and Jets. So now he's got the Denver experience to lean on. He seems like, from the outside, he would seem to be a more well-rounded candidate now than he was back in 21 when they wanted to hire him. So Jim Leonard intrigues me. Because he was a great player in high school. He was a great player in college. He was a great coach in college, and apparently he's a great coach in the NFL. So why not? To me, it seems like he's ready for the next step, and it seems like a perfect marriage to me.
Okay. So you're hanging your hat on the Jim Leonard train there. What do you think? We had some questions earlier, and we kind of went back and forth on it. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on a defensive coordinator. Obviously, I think Jim Leonard, he called the defense there at Wisconsin, so he's done it before, but not calling in the NFL. Do you think that's an issue with a defensive coordinator candidate coming into Green Bay and not having the experience of calling a defense in the NFL at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did it bother Jeff Hafley? I mean, you don't know. I mean, you don't know until you know. And yeah, that's the great mystery,
Let's be real, Bill. I called defense in 8th grade football, and pitched a shutout. So if I can do it, I think anybody can. I mean, come on. I was just a kicker. What do I know about the X's and O's on defense? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it'd be okay. To that point, though, I mean, then maybe look toward Jonathan Gannon, who failed as the head coach of the Cardinals. But when he was the Eagles defensive coordinator, they were one of the best units in the league and got to a Super Bowl. So, I mean, obviously he called plays there. So if that's an issue for you, maybe you go that route.
That's true. What about have we heard anything about Sean McDermott? What's his story right now?
Yeah, I have not. I'm wondering if you're Sean McDermott, if you're holding out for the head coaching jobs first before you take a step back into the coordinator role. And, if you're Green Bay waiting on that, I mean, but then McDermott gets something else, you get in danger of waiting too long. So, yeah, that's an interesting thing. If you would be interested in taking a step back, or if you're McDermott, you just take a year off and regroup.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do it like Coach McCarthy did after he was gone from Green Bay, and you're getting paid anyways. Might as well just kind of spend some time with the family and reflect and get ready for that next gig. So, yeah, I like that as well. What do you think on this?
What do you think of Al Harris? Like in 1,000 years, in
Bill,
a million years, did you think of Al Harris as a defensive coordinator or an NFL coach in any way?
Bill, I was going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did. So I have been all week here pitching for Al Harris to be the defensive coordinator of this Green Bay Packers team. I think they need more kind of legacy Packer people in that building at times. Like you kind of, you hang your hat on the tradition of the organization, the history that's come before, but then you just don't always have a lot of people that have been there and done that, right? Always kind of in the space, speaking into the football side. So I think Al Harris, what he's done, what he did to Dallas, Tommy read off some stats, like what his corners and his the pass game defense was when he was at Dallas, what he did there in Chicago, and what was a big glaring issue on this team last year and kind of here the last couple of years is that cornerback room, right? So you get a guy, they couldn't get turnovers this year. He had he didn't have a great secondary there in Chicago, and they took the ball away at a high rate. So I love the thought of Al Harris coming to Green Bay and being the DC there.
I never thought about that angle. I mean, I have all the numbers in my story, but I never thought about the legacy. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. Like, Pat, I mean, we all of us, on the outside talk about the rivalries. Well, that doesn't mean anything to anybody up there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a super point. But you're right. The interceptions are bananas. Like the Cowboys are number one in the NFL during his time there.
Yep.
And then he goes to the Bears and they're number one. That should probably tell you something about what he's doing as a coach to get those guys coached up. And I thought, is it Nashawn? Is it Nashawn right? Am I saying his first name right?
Nashawn right. Yep.
I just know how to spell it. So here's a guy he started like a few games in Dallas. He played one game for the Vikings. So he's been a total nobody in his career. He goes to Chicago with Al Harris in his first year, and he leads the league with 10 turnover plays, 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, or 2 forced fumbles, and 3 recoveries for 10. That's Al Harris. That's the value of coaching. And I was reading in the story, I found some quotes from Al Harris about his coaching style is just giving players the confidence and the self-belief that they can do these things. And he's a big believer in that part of it. So yeah, I think Wright is kind of the poster child of what Al Harris can do to a defense.
I love that mentality, right? Like it takes fear out of the equation, and it takes like a fear of like not having success out of the equation, because it's like if you play hard, you know what you're doing, and you go out there and you lay it on the line, you've already passed that threshold of success. Now it's like, what do you do to capitalize on that, right? Go get a turnover, go make a play. If you don't make that play, strap it back up and go out and do the next one, because you're not going to get down on yourself, and you're not going to, say, woe is me, or like kind of go lick your wounds on the sidelines. Like, you're going to just keep playing ball. I love that. And then you bring in Nick Collins as the DB's coach. He's coaching down there at his alma mater. And I think some voices in that space to really drive like that kind of grit and that grind of like, what it takes to be a Green Bay Packer and be play on this defense and support that offense in every way, just could be a really galvanizing force for this team.
Yeah, I think that's just an unbelievably good point. Again, all of us listening, we know what the Packers mean. But does Joe play? I mean, the Packers haven't won a Super Bowl since 2010. I think to a large extent, the Packers are just another team to a lot of these guys. And then to have the old head like Al, who spent 7 years here and was part of great teams, I think that makes a lot of sense.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep pushing that narrative until something gets done. So
Mason,
we'll see what happens.
Mason, can you take out a billboard in Green Bay that says Al for DC? Like, do you think it's worth it? Like, next to LaFleur's house or something?
Just put it out.
I think he's going to be running for Congress at that.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to DC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got to be specific.
All right. Nicely said. You guys are smart. I'm dumb.
All right, fellas. Y'all got anything else for Bill?
No, I appreciate it, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Awesome stuff. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay warm, and hope your son feels better.
Yeah, me too. All right, take care, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Bill.
I make a pretty mean grilled cheese, by the way, Mace.
Oh, really?
When he
said ham and grilled cheese,
like, Tommy, don't break, man.
I know. I haven't had a piece of bread
Tommy's
still.
Would that be on your list?
That
like
sounded
a nice ham and cheese,
like paninis,
yes.
like the George Foreman grill. Like, no free ads, but man, bless that invention, because I miss it. I miss it right now.
My girls, like, multiple times a week will come home and be like, "Mom, you can't." Mrs. Thunder does most of the cooking, but if it's grilled cheese, it's Dad.
That's what you rock.
Yeah, of course.
I rock the grilled cheese.
What kind of cheese you throwing on there?
All of them.
I always go. All of them. I always go white cheddar, and I always go shredded, like the 4 cheese mix, and then whatever else we have. And usually we have. Sometimes I'll actually throw some string cheese in there,
sliced and a shred.
Yep. Nice. And then you got to manage the heat. Like, you don't want to cook it too quickly, because some of it has to melt. Because when you cut it, that's a different melting temperature than just the shredded. So
yes, sir, Bobby Flay.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you. So thanks for Bill Huber for joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Freddy Peralta still a member of the Mets, in case you guys were wondering. Q let us know that Bucks prices got cut in half overnight after last night's game. Just some craziness. Tomorrow we will do our preview picks for the weekend. I think we'll do the games and the over-unders. Let's do the games and the over-unders.
Let's do it.
Maybe a prop bet.
Oh,
Could get real frisky up in here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I had my underdog app open last night, and I was going to take the over on Ryan Rollins points, and then I couldn't find another one I liked, so I ended up not doing it, and he ended up going under anyway. And it's like, dude, with KPJ out, with Miles Turner out, like Ryan Rollins needs to step up there.
Bad.
Yeah, it's just like Bobby Portis had 9 assists though last night. Like that was good for him. Good,
Good night.
Yeah, if that gets him traded quicker, that can out. I know that Tommy wants to get into this story when we come back. We're going to do a little business of sports when we come back, following the quarterback at Washington who thought he was leaving and then realized he had a contract with the University of Washington.
Who's advising these guys?
I don't know, but Duke University, his last name is Mensa. He's undergoing, so I don't know how smart he is. Like you think he's smart because he's a member of Mensa, but he's no.
That was bad. You got to wrap this up, man.
Wrap this up.
I just want to talk. Like we had a guest not go to 27 after the hour, so I thought like we actually had a minute here to chat and like actually do a radio show. But Tommy doesn't know how to do a radio show. So he's like, oh,
but you're talking about like someone's last name and associating with.
We finally are on time, and Mitch is like, we can't do that. No, Mensa
Let's
joke.
extend this thing out.
Screw that. I will say that loud and proud. We're going to get into some business of sports. College athletics is just continues to be the joke of everything that is going on in the world of sports these days. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nelson, aka Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Yeah, and I'll do a radio show how I want to do a radio show. So we are going to have Bucks breaking news during Wisconsin Sports Daily then, Tommy? Mason, this is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Mason, there's a running gag at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network that breaking news always happens when Sparky's not in.
Oh, nice.
Like the Micah Parsons trade happened, and I think
Miles Turner, right?
Charlie and I were on. Miles Turner, same thing. So
we're expecting something big.
We're expecting. We're not announcing anything, but we are anticipating. The potential for something to happen because Sparky is out today. Tommy and Charlie are filling in on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, and that's just how it works when Sparky takes off.
Do y'all have a nickname for you and Charlie, Tommy? Like, is it like Double Trouble or
Tuck?
The dudes,
Tommy and Chuck. Tuck.
Oh.
I don't know. No,
wow.
We are. We could be. There's got to be something on the year because me and Charlie are the 2000 boys. So
there you go.
That could be something along there.
Yeah.
Charlie's a year and a half younger than me, something like that. Yeah. So
he's the real youngin.
Right. Yeah. Charlie is the young guy here. And I actually get associated way more away from Charlie's age than I do close to Charlie's age. Whenever Sparky will talk to me, like, he'll be like, well, that was when Charlie was in school. I was like, we were literally in school at the same time. Yeah. So I don't know why I feel like I get 35 more than I get 25 in this building.
Well, it's all you're complaining about kids not being in school. So
yeah, exactly.
Duke quarterback Darian Mensah is permitted to enter the transfer portal, but he can't enroll at another school or play football for another college team before a judge rules on Duke's request for an injunction that would prevent him from leaving. There's a scheduled injunction for February 2nd in Durham County, let's see, the court judge has indicated he would attempt to move the hearing to an earlier date. Mensah signed a multi-year contract with Duke in July 24 that was believed to be worth $4 million this year. Informed Blue Devils coach Manny Diaz that he intended to transfer Friday, the last day the transfer portal was open. It is believed that Mensah wants to transfer to Miami, where he would replace former starter Carson Beck. On a scale of 1 to 1 billion, Mason, how broken is the system?
That's so crazy. It's just like again, I get that. Sure, yeah, you want to go to Miami. Like, there's an opportunity, but like, you are where you are. You signed a contract. Like, that, unless they are willing to let you out of that said contract, I just don't understand how the system is set up in any way where, oh, I'm just gonna bail on this. Like, you don't have to let me out. Like, I'm just gonna fight this and get out of it. Like, it is so broken. It is such a mess. And who's advising these guys? So you sign these NIL deals, you do all this stuff. Like, who's in their corner, who's in their space saying, yeah, go for it. We're going to fight this and we'll try to get it done. You just do what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's turning more and more into the NBA, it feels like. And it's a part of the game that made people fall out of love with it, right? Where
the players were determining where they wanted to go.
Exactly. It was a contract dispute because, hey, you have this guy who just signed this Supermax with you, but once he gets that Supermax, well, now he's going somewhere else because he's got his money and the most money he can make, and he wants to play now where he wants to play. And Darian Mensah, for those of you who don't know, Duke won the ACC championship game this year. He led the ACC in passing yards and passing touchdowns, completed 67% of his attempts this year as well. He is a very good quarterback. And Miami had no backup plan for Carson Beck. They have a guy there that's like going to be a redshirt sophomore that has been in the program for a little bit, but they
planned to go to the portal.
They banked on the portal, and all the top portal quarterbacks are gone. So they approached Darian Mensah, and we just had this situation with Damon Williams from Washington a week or two ago, and it was a leverage move. It seemed from
the universities are the problem. It's a Miami saying like, oh, well, this is the guy we want, so we're going to try to entice him into the portal. Here's the thing. This is what I said a while back. Make it like European soccer, and you have to pay a transfer fee. If you want somebody else's player that they've signed to a deal that is at their school, at their campus, you have to go to, like, Miami has to go to Duke and say, we will pay you $5 million to like have your player go in the transfer portal and take him off your team. That has to happen at some point for this to either for these teams to stop meddling, or at least there be some compensation so they can go now and give money to somebody else.
And it would really be helpful for the FCS people that transfer, smaller schools, like you're saying. That is a very good solution.
Or make a rule where you can't, like in the NFL with coaches, like you have to have permission to go lateral. But if you take a higher job, so like an FCS guy or whatever, like the guy there in Ole Miss, the quarterback,
Trinidad.
Yeah. Like, so that's a cool story. He came up and like got to a higher level. Like that stuff should be allowed. But if you want to go D1 to D1, kind of a lateral move, sure, Miami's program might be considered better, but it's lateral as far as D1 goes. Like there has to be some like regulation there. So right? You shouldn't just be able to just jump ship and go wherever.
Duke's attorneys wrote that Darian Mensah violated the terms of his NIL agreement by, quote, disclosing its monetary terms, seeking to license his NIL in football to another collegiate institution, seeking his enrollment at that institution, initiating contact with admissions or athletic staff members at another institution, and failing to notify Duke University that he was contacting another institution. So this is another thing that we can tie this back to Wisconsin and Miami, Xavier Lucas situation.
That's what I was going to say. This is Miami. Miami is a problem.
Yes. So right now, I don't know how this gets fixed or how there isn't a loophole with this, because if you remember the Xavier Lucas situation, who made a huge impact in that national championship game based on the passing performance of Indiana in the first half versus the second half, he just quit. He just quit the football team and then re-enrolled. So it really was, he did.
That's
it
like
as
tampering,
student.
right? I mean, like Miami is contacting players or their agents or whatever, and like kind of telling them to go into the transfer portal and we're going to do that. Like that should not be allowed, right? Like, well, I mean, it shouldn't be allowed, especially when you're under contract.
Fixed? How does that get fixed? Because you want to go out here.
Miami needs to be docked like a game. Like they need to get hit with some sort of sanction.
They are student athletes, and the NCAA wants to hang on that title so badly. And so what is preventing them from, as a student, to drop out and then just go to another school like any other student can do, and a lot of students do?
No, dude.
Okay, all right. I mean, geez. Yeah, could have went to Harvard. Yeah, sure. Laugh at that.
I'm still a guy. I'm still an idiot.
But like, this is never going to.
Well,
get
Carson
fixed.
Beck at Miami just ruined that too, because he said he's been graduated for 2 years.
Right.
So it's like, yes, student athlete is dead. That is not a thing anymore.
Do we care?
It's like, I care. I do.
Why?
I really do care. I think there's just like the rite of passage of like the expectation that you are an athlete, you deserve to get paid and like become a professional and all that. No, like you have to work your way up that ladder. Like I tell my kids every day, right? Like, yes, I played in the NFL, all that. Like you have to earn what you get. Mm-hmm. Like it might feel like some things are given to you, but like, I want you to have a mindset of I'm going to go out and earn this. Right. And I'm going to have, like, I have to go through these challenges to get there. Like we're eliminating that. We're eliminating the importance of any sort of education, which like, I think it's going to be the downfall of a lot of people in this country.
But then in Mensah's mind, he earned more money to go somewhere else. He earned more money. He earned an opportunity to go play at a much larger football school as far as prolific goes compared to Duke and Miami. This team just played in the national championship game. Yeah. He's probably going to get more money. He's going to get more exposure. He's looking at the future.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for trying to get more money and go somewhere more prestigious and maybe play for a national champion. I don't blame him. I blame the university. I blame Miami. Like they seem to obviously be involved in multiple of these types of deals. I blame the people in charge at these universities of not they're not like helping anybody out, right? It used to be too extreme on like handcuffing like student athletes.
Right.
Now they've just decided, well, we'll maximize, get as much out of these guys and these like these men and women, and then move on from them. And
Ryan,
that's kind of where we're at.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Rhino says, what college football needs to do is eliminate the transfer portal. You can't have both NIL and a transfer portal. College football is just minor league football now.
Yeah. I mean
that it is. I don't know what I like to your point. It used to be, you'd want to transfer and you'd have to sit out a whole year,
right?
And you couldn't transfer within your conference. And there were like significant rules. And then with NIL and with transfer portal, everything got opened up. And like I was listening, I heard an interview. I think Luke Fickell said this maybe, that like in the NFL, the collective bargaining agreement, it's like a 450-page like legalese craziness. There's not one page of anything in college sports.
That's crazy.
There is nothing governing anything.
Well, exactly. You sign a deal, like, and until teams, I guess, start like releasing players like from their contract because of lack of performance, right? Like they say, hey, we gave you a 3-year deal. You're not living up to that, so we're going to release you. Like I don't know how you get out of these contracts and think you can just go and now get an NIL or get money from some other place. Like it just that doesn't make sense to me. But again, it's not the player's fault for seeking out more money and more opportunity. It is the system and it is the universities, like people running these places, that think it's okay to just take advantage of what's going on right now. And then the NCAA at some point has to step in and say, okay, you're under contract. You can't go into the transfer portal. You can't go lateral. You have to either go up a division or, it has to be a better circumstance.
But what's like Old Dominion to Wisconsin then? Like, does Old Dominion deserve some compensation there? Like they're D1, but they're just small D1.
They're small D1. I would say like that would be an up, I guess. But I also believe that Wisconsin should have to pay Old Dominion if they want a player from there. Like I do think there should be some sort of retribution, like some compensation. And that's what happens in Europe. Like if you want rights to sign a player, you have to pay them a transfer fee. We literally have a transfer portal, but there's no fee associated for them leaving and going somewhere else. Like that would stop it right away. If they just came out and said, any of your players go in the transfer portal, wherever they go, like if you want access to them, you have to pay minimum this amount per like 4 players, or give them a value of what their value expectation is.
So how do you stop Xavier Lucas stories? How do you fix that? Because I think that what you're saying is if you want to seek a player out like Miami did for Duke's Darian Mensah, all right, fine. You have to pay, and then you have to pay him, and then you can claim Darian Mensah from the transfer portal.
Yeah.
If you have a one-time transfer, and then afterwards you have penalty, sit out a year, sit out a half a year, whatever it is, like you can make one transfer, and then you can still be eligible, but anytime after one, there's a problem. But how do you stop the Xavier Lucas stories of you will not be able to transfer? He says, well, then I'll just quit and I will not be enrolled at this university and I will re-enroll at a university and earn that somewhere else. How do you fix that problem? Because it doesn't feel like that ever goes away.
That's the language in the contract. Was they must have messed up? Like, was the language in the contract as long as he was enrolled at the university?
Probably.
Like that's where the lawyers messed up on that. Like you put in that contract, as long as this contract goes through these years, regardless of your student, where you are in school, you're under contract at the University of Wisconsin.
Right. And you would think the NCAA can just deem someone ineligible if that's the case too. If they wanted to do that, they do it all the time with other random stuff going around.
It's a mess. It is a mess. And then I don't know if we ever talked about, I don't know if y'all talked about on a Wednesday, the basketball gambling, rings, those just keep popping up, right? Where it's just,
they just had the first guy get a prison sentence. Like didn't somebody just get 2 years in jail for And he's part of the Rozier ring. The first sentence came out already. So.
Man, we got to,
lots of things to keep our eyes on. Remember, it's Tommy Wirtz and Charlie Usen in for Sparky today on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Can't wait for shenanigans galore when the 2000s brothers get together. That's terrible.
The Bash Brothers.
The Hardy Boys, the new Hardy Boys.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Mensa?
Yeah. No.
Mensa on a bencha? Is that what it is?
Oh, Mensa on a bencha. He's telling me where it's at. All right.
I've laughed us out of like 3 segments.
Tommy,
now.
You know what you're getting dangerously close to? Being the guy who laughs too much at his own jokes.
All right. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
If you say something funny, let other people laugh.
Well, I only aim to impress myself. So
we'll come back. We'll get inside Mason's head, Mason's extra points when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. What day is it today? Thursday? Good Thursday, fellas. Thanks for everyone joining the Mason Crosby Show. Stay safe out there. I know the weather's breaking down all over this great country. It's going to come through here, I think, tomorrow night. And then we're going to see what happens. So hopefully I'll stay warm up there in Wisconsin. Don't go out if you don't have to, unless you have to drive somewhere, you got to drive 30 minutes away or something and go see a friend.
Go do a thing.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, what's on my mind? We got meetings today. We had a meeting with our builder, are like doing the remodel or contract.
Are the girls all in one room right now?
We are all. It feels like the Willy Wonka scene where everyone's sleeping in one bed, in one room. Exactly. Like we have 3 mattresses on the floor, just like everyone's climbing all over each other.
Love it.
But they love it. I mean, they've been sleeping so good every night the last few nights. So we got electrical work going on up in their rooms and things. And so it started, man. We're in it. So for the next year, if I seem stressed, that's probably the reason why.
A year? That's how long we're in on this?
Well, I'm just saying a year. I don't know.
If you need not this weekend, but if you need any excuses to like happen to be in Milwaukee or Green Bay, like you got plenty of places to crash. I got a guest room. Rob's got a guest room. Like,
nice.
We can make that happen for you, buddy.
Well, I am going to be there on February 1st.
Let's
so
go.
Around your birthday.
Just in time. In time. Nice.
I just came in for your birthday, Mitch.
Did you know that today is the 20-year anniversary of Kobe dropping 81 points in a game?
That's crazy.
Like 81, like in a regular season game. Like they weren't just feeding him. Like I know David Robinson got 70 on the last game of the year one year to get the scoring title over Shaq. But this wasn't like that. This was us. Kobe was hot.
Just a random night.
And it just kept random night home against the Raptors. 81. No big deal.
Right on Jalen Rose's head. If you remember that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Love that.
Yeah. I mean, the game's changed so much. It feels like, right? Like
I feel like more guys could do that. Like if they want to, you get teams scoring in the 140s now.
Yeah.
Like if you got a shooter really hot and he made 15 threes in a game, like
15 threes.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
70 is kind of the new 60 in the NBA.
I agree.
I do think that you can see that number a little more commonly than what was it last year or 2 years ago? There was like 4 guys who dropped 70 in a game.
Yeah.
So
Dame did it. Donovan Mitchell did it.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's wild.
Yeah,
and Luka was the other one too. Yeah. Luka did it with like a triple double. Dude's gross.
So what do y'all think? What do you think's going to happen there with the Bucks? What's
just thinking that
blow it up.
But blow it up. I mean, they got to listen to offers for Giannis. At this point, they have to. And again, like I said earlier in the show, if I'm another team and I think I can get Giannis, now is the time. Like right now, these next 2 weeks until the trade deadline, because they are really bad, and maybe the Bucks are open to like, hey, we need to do what's best for our future and what's best for Giannis. We owe it to everybody. Or they just try to trade other guys and try to say, hey, Giannis, this year's done, but stick with us the next 2 years. We're going to put together a team immediately next year.
And who do you want to coach that team, right?
Not Doc Rivers.
Yeah, that's good.
No, you ask Giannis. Who do you want to coach?
All right. I'll take 8th grade girls coaching mega force Mason Crosby.
Yeah, maybe Giannis just player coach. Just go and
no, nobody needs that.
Take over. All right. Hey, before I sign off today, who knows what will happen? I'm sure they're going to wait till after this weekend and see if they can get an interview with Jim Leonard. But Al Harris defensive coordinator.
I love how hard you are manifesting this. Like
I'm about to message him on Instagram right now and be like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going. Oh, do not miss tomorrow.
Oh,
John Ryan coming on at 1:00. He's gonna, we're gonna talk about Seattle. Do not bring up the 2014 game because I don't want him to relish in that.
Nope.
But we're just gonna talk about what playoff football is and all the things.
Will he bring it up, Mason?
He won't. He's Canadian. He's too nice. Yeah, he won't unless I bring it up, and then he'll dive in deep. Yeah,
I love that. All right, well, we got Tommy and Charlie coming up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily. They're gonna do an amazing job. Can't wait to hear it. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stay warm, everybody.
Later.